What's going on, guys? Welcome to the interior of the brand new 2022 Nissan Frontier Pro4X midsize pickup truck. This thing is absolutely beautiful and there's so much to like about this truck. Today, we're going to talk about driving impressions, how this truck feels, and this is absolutely a video you're going to want to pay close attention to, because if you're interested in a midsize truck, you definitely want to include this one on your list, and I'll explain why. All right, so again, 2022 Nissan Frontier Pro4X. This is a crew cab truck. This has the short bed on it. You can only get the longer bed or the 6-foot bed if you get the king cab. But when you look at a mid-sized truck, you have a lot of expectations that you kind of have to go into it understanding. One of those expectations, and likely one of the biggest ones, is what you're going to use the truck for. Are you going to tow anything with it? Are you going to carry anything with it? Basically, how is the truck going to be used? Is it going to be used as a tool for you or as a family hauler? And when you go into it, you'll have a better idea of what type of truck might be best suited for you. Now, here's the deal. When you hop into this new Frontier, the first thing you're going to notice right off the bat is just how refined the interior is. It's absolutely beautiful. They've done a great job. They nailed it. They hit it out of the ballpark. I mean, it really, really looks good. And I don't think there is a single mid-size truck that can compete with it from an interior, just overall appeal, overall look, where they've placed everything, ergonomics. They've done such a great job with the interior layout. Then when you move to the outside of the truck, it's got this really bold appearance to it. It looks really nice. It definitely looks muscular. They don't look like they're wimpy little mid-sized trucks like you see a lot of them, unfortunately. And they also look filled out, which means they don't look super hollow, like, you know, everything is spaced out too far, and they were trying to cut costs, so it made the truck kind of look a little bit less capable than it is. They've done a good job there. But then after you've looked at the interior and the exterior of the truck and you've moved on to, you know, checking the boxes of what the truck's going to be used for, is it going to fit in size, you then have to hop into it and take a test drive. And when you take a test drive in one of these trucks, the first thing that you're going to feel or realize is that the truck feels like a luxury vehicle. It does not feel like your traditional mid-sized truck. And I've been in all of them. I was out at the test drive that Ford did. I spent a lot of time in the Ranger. I spent a lot of time in Canyons and Colorados. Shoot, I even spent quite a bit of time in a Bison, which was super decked out, really cool truck. But this truck feels like you're getting a lot more for your dollar. This truck feels more refined. It feels as if they really took time to design an interior and to design a chassis that gives you like a luxury SUV feel. And I think people are looking for that, because there's a lot of folks out there that have half-ton trucks today, and their goal is to move to something that's maybe a little bit smaller, something that you can move around town in a little bit easier, and at the same time gives you the utility you're looking for when you need it. So, of course, I have my F450, which gives me the towing capability, which gives me the hauling capability. What I sacrifice is size, right? The truck is a huge truck. It takes up a lot of road, and it's more difficult to park. It's more difficult to get in and out of, you know, businesses, to go through drive-throughs, things like that, things that you have to pay attention to. And even though it has a wide track front axle with a really, really outstanding turning circle, it still suffers from some of those big truck issues that you have whenever you're driving on, you know, normal roads and you need to get in and out of certain places. So a truck like this makes a lot of sense, because it bridges that gap. It gives you that luxury SUV feel. It gives you some of the utilitarian capabilities of a luxury SUV mixed in with some of the features, benefits, and utilitarian capabilities of a pickup truck. And it gives it to you in a package that feels like you're not compromising. The only compromise you would have is understanding the limitations of the truck from a towing, a payload, and an off-road capability, because you don't want to get this truck thinking that you can treat it like, you know, a Humvee, or you can treat it like some type of an off-road vehicle that can go through anything, realizing that there are going to be some limitations there, right? It does not have a front-locking differential. So, you know, that's one area that you're like, man, if I'm an extreme off-roader, that might be a limitation here, and I might have to look at something different. However, when you look at a truck like this, and you look at the overall package, and then you couple it with how smooth this truck rides and how well it behaves on the road, how quiet it is, all of a sudden you realize that you have this Goldilocks type truck, this truck that fits perfectly in that gap between a larger truck and an SUV when you're looking for a truck. So I think a big market for a vehicle like this is going to be for folks who are looking for a pickup truck. They don't want a big truck. They want a truck that they can go to Lowe's or Home Depot with, that they can go to Walmart and pick up something big like a TV, that you can go and do some basic things with, even maybe a work truck. If you're an installer and you don't carry a lot of really big things, maybe, you know, you carry tools with you, stuff like that, but you don't need anything bigger than a 6-foot bed. Well, this is a really great truck for that application. It's going to be significantly less expensive than a half-ton truck with similar features. It's going to feel roughly the same size. It is certainly smaller. So you don't want to feel as if you're in a truck that's the same size as a full-size truck, because it's not. But what you get with this truck is just a lot of capability in a package that's easier to maneuver, is going to limit you a bit in terms of payload and towing, but might fit the need you're specifically looking for, especially if you live in a real dense city environment and you want a truck that can give you a little bit more maneuverability, the ability to get in and out of businesses, in and out of stores quicker, with more ease, plus the ability for you to pick up that TV or whatever that thing you're shopping for and load it in the back and get it home without worrying about it, you know, sticking out the back of your bed or sticking out the back of your window if it's an SUV. This gives you a lot of functionality that I think is great. Now, from a comfort perspective, the truck is really comfortable. The seats feel fantastic. And this is the Pro 4X loaded package, but it has the leather seats, whereas you can get kind of this professional cloth style seat if you want as well. But the seats are extremely comfortable. They feel, again, like I'm in a luxury SUV. It's a really well-designed truck in terms of seat bolstering, in terms of support. Now, the only thing I would like to see is a little bit more flexibility in terms of being able to control the seat, move the seat up and down. I believe that it's currently at its highest level, and I feel like maybe it should be able to go up another inch or so. But that's not that big of a deal. Now, what I didn't see and I don't think is available is a power passenger seat. That's actually a pretty big deal. There's a lot of folks who might be shorter in stature and they'd prefer a seat that can also kind of lift them up. So that's a feature that I think should almost be standard on all vehicles, at least the ability for you to raise and lower the passenger seat. What do you guys think about that? Leave a comment below, because that's something my wife would certainly appreciate. It's something that I see a need for, and you just don't see in a lot of vehicles, especially these compact pickup trucks. You don't see them putting a power passenger seat, and if they do, it's only power forward and back, and then you can tilt the back, but you don't have the ability to raise most of them up, which I think is really the most important feature to have. Again, this is absolutely gorgeous out here. It's just some of the most beautiful area you can travel. I mean, if you're going to be traveling the country and you want to go to an area that's scenic, has great water features, has really, really great geography and terrain, something that's going to be memorable when you get back from your trip, you're going to tell everybody about it, Utah is absolutely one of the places you might want to check out, because it's absolutely amazing. Anyways, guys, we are actually en route, and you can see all of these Frontiers that are driving. There's probably 15 of them, and we're headed to the off-road course that they've set up. So it's about a 45-minute drive. I figured it was the perfect opportunity to go over driving impressions. Keep in mind, this video will probably come out after the other videos I do, since there are embargoes on this content. So I can't actually talk about driving impressions or the pricing or the ride until a certain date, and that's when this video will come out. But yeah, I really like the truck, and it's certainly something that I could see myself spending quite a bit of time in, because it's very comfortable, and I'm hitting a lot of expansion joints on this concrete road right now, and the truck feels very, very planted, very smooth. It has kind of a more firm ride, but in a good way, kind of like when you're in a luxury SUV or maybe even a sports car, if you kind of get close to the two. And that was all in how they worked with their suspension chassis component folks and Bilstein to dial in this suspension. And I think they went through what they said was like hundreds of tweaks that had to have been made by Bilstein to really dial in the shocks to meet the specific needs that they were looking for with this Pro4X package. Anyways, guys, again, we are headed out to the four-wheel drive off-road course. This is absolutely a gorgeous area. Man, I could just totally see getting a cabin or bringing the RV out here and finding a place just to set up base camp for a long period of time, because this is beautiful. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, now is a great time to subscribe to my channel. I've really enjoyed driving this truck around. It absolutely has been a wonderful experience. And you guys know, I always cut it to you guys straight. I'll always tell you what I like and I don't like. And so far, I'm having a hard time telling you from a driving impressions perspective what I don't like, because it's such a very, very well-engineered truck, and it's just really nice to drive, especially considering its size, its price point. And, you know, the fact is, you get a truck that feels like a luxury SUV from an interior perspective, that bold, aggressive look from the outside perspective. You know, it's just, they've really hit it out of the park. And I definitely want to give kudos to Nissan for taking driver feedback, taking owner feedback, and building a product that's pretty phenomenal. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we will talk to you again very soon.